Yo, what's going on, guys? Michael Jordan, the Coffee Dog here, and today I have a very special video. I am with Wool. He's another Overwatch League content creator. I'm a big fan of his, and he wanted to hop on the video with, or I wanted him to hop on the video with me today, and he agreed. So, what's up, Wool?
Hey man, how's it going?
It's going good. Okay, and what we're doing today is we're going to be going over our Overwatch League MVP candidates. We're just going to be discussing it. We're going to be giving three players that are returning players from last year, and we're also going to be giving three new players that are new to the league and who would be deserving of MVP. And then we're just going to talk about it, and then we're going to say our overall MVP, and it should be a good time. So, yeah, let's just hop right into it. You ready, Wool?
Yeah, no, I'm ready. Go right ahead.
All right. So, we're gonna start with returning. My first player that I want to be MVP or would want to be MVP is Sinatra. The guy has just
Okay.
been absolutely insane this year. He has like some of the highest stats on Zarya. He's just been really good for the team, especially coming from last year when he was like basically just known as a tracer one trick. He's really stepped up his game and has shown some other characters like Sombra and stuff like that. And I've just been really impressed with him overall.
Yeah, no, I can see that. He's been so good this season compared to what it was last year as he sort of was developing alongside Super and the rest of the Shock.
Yeah.
So I can totally see him as an MVP candidate.
Yeah. All right. Who do you got?
So my first guy is Mano of New York Excelsior. He has absolutely popped off this year. He's probably been the most consistent Excelsior player through every stage so far. I think last stage particularly, towards the end when they were struggling with Atlanta, and then it gave Vancouver Titans quite a good game in Stage 2 finals. He was by far and away their best player. Uh, he has a more sort of counter-attacking style compared to a lot of other Reinhardts. A lot more patient in his build-up, but the number of clutch plays he makes, shatters, those sorts of plays he makes, just he pops off so much so often. And I don't really think I can remember him having a really bad game. So I think he's clearly my first MVP candidate I picked from this group.
Yeah, he's definitely been one of New York's best players.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
he's someone that I considered, but instead, my second player is going to be Super from the San Francisco Shock, another main
Okay.
tank player. Simply because the guy, he's a freaking huge brain. Makes some of the biggest plays for the team. He can be a hard carry at times, and he's just a super fun guy to watch. Like when I watch Super, I'm like, dude, this guy is like some of the plays he makes is crazy, and like how he thinks of the game. Like yesterday against the Valiant, he like got like a four-man shatter and then like 180 and blocked fact fiction shatter, just like some super huge brain stuff. So Super is going to be my second MVP candidate.
Yeah, no, I can totally agree with that. Super's had an astonishing season, to be honest. I don't think anyone really expected him being as good as he was going into this season.
Yeah,
I think the only thing, I just say the only thing really detracting from him, although even tonight he showed it off a bit more, is his Winston play. He hasn't really shown off. He's mainly stayed on Rhine. Showed a bit of Orisa, but I still think his Winston plays fine. But I think a lot of the time when you hear, especially when like talking about Team USA and who's going to make it this year, hear a lot of people bash Super for his lack of experience, at least on Winston, or at least not showing as much of a sort of a pop-off ability on him, which other players like Mano and another player I'll be getting onto a little later on have shown far more sort of ability and potential for. Although I'd say today he actually did play really well on Winston, so I can completely understand that pick.
Yeah, I agree with that. He hasn't been able to show it off as much simply because of the meta, but I think
Yeah,
he can be a good Winston. I mean, his Rhine wasn't even that good last year, and he improved massively. I'm sure he
yeah,
could do
no,
the same thing for Winston.
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
All right, who you got for your second?
So my second pick from a London Spitfire, it's got to be Fury. He has by far and away been their best and most consistent player all season in what has been a pretty awful season so far for London, given the expectations and the fact that they are the current reigning champions. I think, especially in the first two stages, his diva was just impeccable. It was getting so much done through supporting gesture on the front line and protecting supports on the back line. He kept coming up with clutch diva bombs and, of course, the signature grab eats. And if that wasn't enough, then this stage, in stage 3, he's pretty much been hard carrying the team on Farah and other DPS like Sombra, almost outperforming, Bird Ring and Guard and the
Prophet.
other DPS
Yeah.
options. I mean, Profit's probably been their next best player,
Yeah.
I'd have to say.
On the Sombra though, on the Sombra.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'd probably say that. But I mean, Fury's been outstanding. I think he really defines what it means to be an MVP in terms of the true definition being most valuable player. I think Fury has been one of the more valuable players of the ones we're going to talk about here. He's not only brought intense quality, but has a lot of the time literally had to hard carry and solo carry his team towards any competitiveness. I mean, that game against New York earlier this stage was literally Fury against the world, and the fact he took it to a game 5 with such performance was crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, in a 2-2-2 lock, if London get good, I mean, if he continues up his form or whatever, he is going to be crazy strong.
Yeah, he really is, because he is also one of my MVP candidates.
All right.
The only reason I wouldn't put Fury is simply because his team is not doing good, but him as an individual has been absolutely insane this year. Probably the best diva in the league right now. One of the better Zaryas, and he's just very consistent in his play as well. And his consistent is really high in terms of quality. So Fury was my third MVP candidate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I can understand the point you made there. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Fury.
Yeah, I mean, as a Seoul fan, I'm not a big London fan, even if I am from the UK. But I'm going to, like Prophet, I mean, I've just got to respect Fury for how good he is.
Yeah.
How often he just pops off in games just regularly. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, definitely. All right, who do you have for your third and final returning MVP?
So this one was hard, and in the end, largely based off of the match that we've just seen, which was crazy, I've actually gone with Choi Hyobin of the San Francisco Shock. Another diva player. I think for stage 1 and stage 2, he quietly played really well, but was sort of not really talked about because most of the focus was on Sinatra, Super, more louder voices, the bigger egos in the side. But the reason I have him here is when you talk about MVP, I really put an emphasis on the value, so the most valuable player. And the value he has brought to the Shock this season has been crazy. He's not only been consistent throughout stage 1, 2, and even 3. He's come up with so many clutch plays. It's crazy. I mean, the number of huge diva bombs he's had in the stage finals and throughout all the stages have been amazing. He's come up with gravites with the clutch crucial times, and even more recently he's shown his ability to be flexible and really bring value in that aspect of his game. So I mean, tonight his Roadhog was out of this world tonight. I mean, he was literally countering a Farah on Roadhog.
That was so funny to watch, man. I was like, every time he got a hook, I'm like, how did he hit that dude?
Yeah, really good. Honestly, if Choi didn't play tonight, if Choi didn't play as well as he did tonight, Shanghai would have probably easily 4-0'd that, and it would have been so much easier because Ding was one of the standout players on Shanghai tonight, and yet at times he was literally just shut down by Choi, either on Diva or on Roadhog. And even though he's not necessarily the flashiest player or whatever, I think he does bring that tremendous amount of value, which is why I'd have him in the MVP conversation here.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that statement. He's someone I considered as well, but I preferred Fury in my eyes. But even then, Choi Hyobin has done phenomenally well in the silence as well. Like, I feel like I've said it before that, like, you guys should watch out for Choi because he's insane. Like, sometime, and he's been proving it more and more recently.
Yeah, totally.
So let's start. Okay, so next we're going to do new players. So new players that are inside the league. And my first candidate is going to be Ding. This guy, first off, he's insane, and you could just watch that in his play. He's probably the best Pharah. He is the best Sombra still in my eyes. And I've ranked him as one of the best DPS. He can also flex onto that Diva and Zarya because he did it in the past on Runaway as he was their flex tank. And the guy's just like super insane and nutty. He makes some really big plays. Sure, you could say his team somewhat enables him, but at the end of the day, if you're not enabling him, he'd still do good.
No worries. I mean, I totally agree, as he was one of my free picks as well. Yeah. I mean, I guess the only things I'll add is that, just take his performance tonight. It was absolutely nutty.
Yeah.
I mean, he required a fantastic display from Choi to deal with him, and even then, Ding got so much consistently done. I know some people say that DM was the star, and yes, DM probably had he had as many highlights or whatever as him.
Yeah.
But I think Ding was the more consistent player throughout the series. I mean, DM really took a nosedive when going onto the Sombra.
Yeah,
With,
I think Ding's just a player you can rely on to pop off.
I mean, yeah, I mean, look, I quickly looked at his stats. He had 120,000 damage.
120,000 damage. Yeah, in that game.
That was.
Yeah, because you have
nuts.
you have a player, let's say like Birdering, who, or not with Bird, like Taimu, who has like pop off moments, but he's not the most reliable player. I feel like Ding is like the most reliable player to pop.
I mean, I wouldn't start putting a DM in the same category as Taimu, but
oh yeah, no, I meant the Ding.
Yeah.
I meant like the. I know DM is very consistent as well, but the Ding is like extremely consistent. I don't think Ding has had a bad game. And I mean, it proves it. In the 15 games that Shanghai has won, Ding has gotten 11 of those MVP matches for that game. So he's just a very insane player. It's super crazy to see someone doing this well, being a new player in the league. It's just
I mean, also I think the thing is, like, Shanghai, like, you can look to their recent success, but even if you look back to their success or them limited success in stage 1, he was the key standout man on his own on Sombra and Farah and whoever else he was playing at the time.
Yeah.
He was probably their number 1 player without a doubt for the first 2 stages, and it's only even really now with DM being allowed to, play as more of his DPS heroes. And I mean, Gamsu's been a consistent member of that side. I don't want to take any credit away from him or the rest of the team, as you say. But Ding has definitely been the number 1 standout on that side for the entirety of this season so far.
Yeah, sure. That's why I wouldn't put a player like DM in the conversation, because he's done extremely good this stage. You could argue he's been better than Diding this stage, but Diding has been like extremely good the entire season.
Yeah.
So
no, I'd agree with that.
All right. So we both have Diding. So let's go with your second choice.
I mean, I'll be surprised if you don't have this player as well. But so my next choice from new players is Gushui with the Hangzhou Spark.
I do have him. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think in anyone who's got an MVP shortlist or whatever, Gushui, well, he should be a lock to be at least on that shortlist or whatever. I mean, the man has been absolutely nuts from minute 1. I mean, he exploded onto the scene back at the Overwatch World Cup, and I mean, it was obvious as soon as they started subbing in No Smite every now and again with it. Like, there was just no comparison. His Rhine at the start of the season was impeccable. Getting so many clutch shatters and making so many big plays and everything. I mean, and more recently in like stage 3, end of stage 2, he's been able to bring out his Winston.
Yeah,
and really shown like how good that Winston is, which a lot of main tanks, they haven't really been able to show this season, or when they have, they've shown clearly haven't had as much practice, or just don't look as strong on the Winston as they do on the Rhine. Whereas I'd say Gushui can fill in either to a super high level, which I think just shows his class and quality. And the fact that he's had to deal with, some language barrier issues and stuff, and the fact he's, consistently popped off and is, almost consistently one of their MVPs every match or whatever, just sort of just goes to show you that even regardless of their recent success, even before that, he was their best player and has really propelled them throughout this entire season.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing is that he's playing in a different language. All 5 of the players on the team besides him speak Korean, so it's crazy to see him have a language barrier and have as much success as he has been having, and he's been super consistent as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's awesome to see like a player from a region that was laughed at last year to like absolutely like be able to do as good as he is doing.
I mean, it's funny that people have laughed at China for ages. I mean, they did get the runners up last year in the World Cup. Albeit with potentially an easier schedule towards it. I mean, they did thump Canada though, so
yeah,
rip those guys.
Yeah. But it's still crazy that Shanghai Dragons went 0-40, and now like a lot of Chinese teams are doing good, and I feel like Gushui is at the forefront of like the Chinese scene in Overwatch. It's pretty great to see.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. So how about your third choice then?
My third and final choice, 2 for 2. We're both matched.
2 for 2. And we could go 3 for 3 here.
We could go 3 for 3. I wouldn't be surprised. My third person is going to be Twilight.
And ding 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 ding.
You have Twilight as well.
You said Twilight, yeah.
Yeah, Twilight. Twilight from Vancouver.
Good. Not Violet. Twilight. Yeah, that's 3 for 3.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to put Violet, but I'm like, Twilight just deserves it more. Twilight.
Yeah, we'll discuss Twilight in a sec, but I mean, the problem with Violet is he hasn't shown enough flexibility in my eyes. I mean, Yeah, he's shown a Moira and an. To be fair, this is what's crazy. Tonight tonight his Anna looked really strong.
Yeah.
Like I actually thought I was really impressed by it, but he just doesn't play it.
He
I
just
was like,
doesn't.
well, it just doesn't need. He's never brought it out. So I'm just like, what are you doing? What are you doing, mate? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's Moira's aggressive, which
It's good and bad.
I mean, it's Moira at the end of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, at that last map, he threw a damage orb instead of a healing orb, and it kind of cost his team somewhat.
I mean,
But at
he's
the
a
same
Moira.
time, he's still an insane player, and
Oh yeah, I mean he's mechanically incredible. I just think
Mechanically.
I don't think he's been as consistently as consistently valuable as someone like Twilight or others like even like Jonak. Jonak was another one I considered as well putting in
Yeah, same.
by
That's someone you had to
returning.
consider.
But anyway, so what are your main points for Twilight then?
Twilight, I mean, he's insane. He can put the team on his back. And it's crazy when like a Zen or Ana can actually put their team on their back. He's hit so many clutch sleeps. I mean, I think he has like one of the highest records for sleeps like in a game or even in a map. I'm pretty sure he's hit both of them, if not
Yeah, no,
extremely close.
I heard that stat.
It's been a pleasure to see, especially me. I'm an Ana player. I watch Twilight's POV like all the time. He's a staple of a very consistent, really good flex support player, both on Zen and on Ana.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. I think also what's incredible is he plays so aggressive for Zens and Annas and everything. Quite often, you'll see him even alongside Bumper. But it's the fact that he combines this with being able to simultaneously pop off, but keep Bumper alive just incredibly. Like that team as a whole, but particularly Twilight, like they almost have an impossible task of keeping Bumper alive. I mean, he doesn't actually take that much damage when you look at the statistics.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that people get bogged down on, or misunderstand, I'd say is a better way of putting
Yeah.
it. His burst healing is what's really impressive, and that's the main thing that keeps Bumper alive so often. He doesn't take too much damage, but when he takes damage, he takes it like in a big burst. So either through a nano boost or well-timed anti-grenade, or
Yeah, or
just
anything.
having the Discord org or transcendence or whatever. His timing and sort of burst healing is really, really strong. It is really like being the main pillar from which Bumper and the rest of Vancouver have been able to succeed from.
Yeah. Also, I feel like of all the flex supports he's had, like he has the best ult usage because Jonax has had some questionable ults. Violet has had some questionable ults. A lot of other ones like Shu and stuff like that. But I feel like Twilight is the most consistent when it comes to valuable ults being used.
Yeah, no, I can totally agree with that.
All right. So it's time. Who do you choose, or should I go first?
I mean, it's up to you. I don't mind either way. I mean, I'm certain we're not going to choose the same person.
Yeah.
I can absolutely say that.
Yeah. All right. You go first. Who do you choose
Okay.
as your overall MVP of this season?
Well, again, this might be controversial, but as I explained before, I really put an emphasis on
Valuable.
the value, which is why right now, of course, with things could be changing in stage 4 and whatever. But right now, my vote would go to Fury of London. As I've said before, I just think he's just consistently been like at S tier like this entire season. I think you could make a very strong argument that he is the best diva in the league before you even add anything else on top of him, whether that be his flexibility. I mean, the fact he's been outperforming and carrying on DPS heroes ahead of players like Prophet, Birdring. Even guard I thought had an impressive Sombra back in stage 1 when he played it. Even then, like I'd say that Fury's Sombra has been outstanding as well. I just think if he's playing to that higher skill level on those heroes and is carrying a team like London to a point where they still have in fact they're probably the most likely team not in the top 6 to make top 6 based on their upcoming
Schedule.
So I mean, the fact he's got them to that stage and has stood out so hard on what has been a not the best team this season, I think for me he makes him the most valuable player. Not necessarily the most pop off highlight, even though he's had more than enough highlights with his entire skill set. But I think he epitomizes what it means to be an MVP, which is why I choose him right now.
That's a good choice. You're definitely right with we wouldn't choose the same person. Dude, I said in the very beginning of the season that I believe that Goucher would have gotten the MVP. And while I think he's a candidate, I think the MVP should go to I,
Never mind, it might not pass you.
it's between two players. I think the MVP should go to Diding. He's just been like one of the
Okay.
best players in the league this year. He's been insanely good. He's been the pinnacle of Shanghai's rising. I think he's just insane. It's so fun to watch him play, and he would be my MVP candidate.
Okay. Yeah. No, I can see it. I don't think he'd get it.
Yeah, I
Overall.
don't think he'd get it overall. I think it's gonna be a player like Fury, Twilight.
I mean, the way I'm aware they're doing it is they're getting the GMs to pick, like, to vote on who they have, and then they're going to release 5 players from
Yeah.
which you can then vote on.
Yeah, that's
So-
the way they're gonna do it.
For instance, someone like Zephyr, as much support as you might get, I just don't see it. I don't see Blizzard allowing it. Well, I
Yeah.
don't think we're going to get a XQC of 2017
Yeah, no, I
World
agree
Cup.
with that. Yeah.
Even though that was the funniest thing.
Yeah,
But
but I think Diding, Fury, you know, a lot of these players are very capable. It's just, yeah, it's up to the people who gets it in the end of the day.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So that is going to be it for today's video. Special shout out to Wollogan for coming onto the channel. He's an amazing content creator for Overwatch League. He releases a lot more videos than I do, and he's all around just a great guy. So I'll leave his channel and Twitter linked in the description below. Just make sure to go and subscribe to him, and leave your thoughts on who you would choose as MVP in the comments below. But that's going to be it for me today. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Peace.